Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
What's funny about your brother? Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua's a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't.
Once again, Jake Paul is caught in the middle of a firestorm that could potentially signal the downfall of the controversial YouTuber turned boxer. New accusations claiming Paul allegedly scripted several of his biggest fights, including the blockbuster Netflix bout against Anthony Joshua, have erupted across social media, with some extreme rumors even suggesting that he and his brother faced possible arrest over these alleged setups. Although promoters and boxing officials have firmly rejected the idea that professional bouts can be fixed without serious legal repercussions, doubts surrounding Paul's legitimacy inside the ring have now reached an all-time high. The situation adds another dramatic chapter to a career already marked by controversy, including a past FBI raid on his Calabasas mansion. As speculation intensifies and his boxing credibility faces unprecedented scrutiny, many fans are now asking one unavoidable question: could this truly be the end of Jake Paul's rapid and controversial rise?
Of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for, that remains unclear. The federal search warrant has been sealed.
For years, long before the recent arrest rumors emerged, numerous boxing analysts, former fighters, and promoters have openly questioned the credibility of Jake Paul's bouts. From handpicked opponents well past their prime to strange fight pacing, late knockdowns, and contracts rumored to contain restrictive clauses, critics have consistently argued that Paul's ascent in boxing has appeared more manufactured than genuinely earned.
Askren fight, we saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that, like, Jake had these fights fixed, and there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not going to take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You could have paid me all the money in the world.
Veteran figures within the sport have repeatedly noted that while Jake Paul undeniably brings huge attention and revenue to boxing, his matchups frequently steer clear of true competitive danger, further fueling suspicions that the results are structured to protect the brand rather than challenge authentic skill. As these concerns continue to stack up, each new controversy no longer stands alone. Instead, it strengthens an expanding narrative that Jake Paul's boxing path has been driven by optics, leverage, and control, rather than the raw unpredictability and brutality that define the sport.
If I say, Rampage, I'm gonna pay you $2 million, right? That this dude beats you, what you gonna do? You're gonna feel disrespected, number one. Right? That ain't enough money. For me to do that, I gotta be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest in it, fall off in.
In the past, the highly publicized bout between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul captured massive attention for its intensity and spectacle. Online chaos erupted after rumors of a leaked script claimed the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight had been pre-planned. Alleged audio recordings began circulating, seemingly supporting accusations that key dramatic moments, including Tyson's supposed fatigue and Paul's knockout victory, were staged rather than organic.
In the United States is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like Jake Paul won.
After his win over Mike Tyson, Jake Paul shared his thoughts on his performance in the ring. Speaking with confidence, Paul stated, "I didn't get much punched or hurt," highlighting his view that he had controlled the fight with minimal resistance. Many of his fans praised the comments, interpreting them as proof of his skill and readiness to face even legendary opponents. Yet critics were quick to challenge this perspective, pointing to the fight's apparent lack of drama and danger, questioning whether Tyson's performance reflected a genuinely competitive contest.
Big as the what? Big as the what?
Why was Mike wearing assless chaps though? In the
did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt.
I was seeing it
Why didn't he
while
have
I was
underwear
ringside.
on?
He had a G-string on, is what he had.
Almost.
I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was
really
crazy when
sorry.
we talked about this. I told him you were going to say some dumb shit. You did the right thing.
The recent bout against Anthony Joshua followed a similar pattern. Numerous commentators have called the matchup absurd, emphasizing the vast gap in experience, size, and pedigree between Paul and Joshua. A YouTuber-turned-boxer with a 12-1 record stepping into the ring against a former two-time world heavyweight champion, who has faced elite competition throughout his career, raised eyebrows from the start. Many analysts dismissed Paul as little more than a cash-grab opponent rather than a legitimate challenge, further fueling speculation that the event was designed more for spectacle than for genuine sport.
Him against Anthony Joshua, massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the Dubois knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
Meanwhile, Jake Paul is stepping into this fight with a level of confidence that has surprised even seasoned observers. Recent commentary highlights that he exudes a strong belief in his ability to meet the challenge and secure victory. Unlike some of his previous matchups, Paul is approaching this bout with intense focus and determination. Analysts monitoring his preparation stress that his mindset is crucial, noting that his confidence reflects both physical readiness and mental resolve. This approach indicates that he is not underestimating the gravity of facing a former heavyweight champion, but is instead viewing it as a prime opportunity to prove himself on the global stage.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here.
However, Jake Paul's growing confidence in the boxing world has been met with skepticism from many seasoned analysts. Critics contend that his belief in being able to challenge a fighter of Anthony Joshua's caliber is overly optimistic. Joshua, a highly decorated and experienced heavyweight, possesses years of elite training, countless championship bouts, and proven endurance that Paul has yet to encounter. Observers also point out that Paul's physique and performance raise questions about whether he may be relying on speed, strategy, or other aids to compensate for the experience gap.
I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe.
Despite all the controversies, significant money is being wagered on this fight. The betting activity has itself become a focal point of the debate surrounding the Paul versus Joshua event. Fans, casual bettors, and even some high-profile personalities are actively placing wagers on the outcome, further intensifying discussions about whether the matchup represents a genuine sporting contest or is primarily designed as a spectacle.
Livelihood on the line for Jake Paul.
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
there could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So we're
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some on. So it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking. Was he 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's
so
that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do I think he's improved enough to be competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits, no.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there a world in which you see...
As rumours of a leaked script spread, boxers who faced Jake Paul came under scrutiny, with some critics accusing him of compromising their own legacies. Fans speculated that Mike Tyson had sold himself to Paul, potentially tarnishing his storied career by taking part in a fight widely perceived as staged.
Everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older script. This will give you goosebumps. I'm just going to read you parts, but if you want to see the full script, I'll show you it at the end. Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And
Observers noted unusual moments during Jake Paul's fights, including instances where Mike Tyson allegedly whispered instructions to Paul and referees seemed to signal him to avoid certain actions. These incidents fueled speculation about scripting and staged choreography. However, Matchroom Boxing CEO Eddie Hearn has publicly denied that the Paul vs. Anthony Joshua fight is scripted or fixed. Hearn emphasized that, if the bout takes place, it will be a legitimate professional fight conducted under Queensberry rules, not an exhibition or pre-planned performance, directly countering the scripting rumors.
When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight.
Frank Smith has stirred fresh controversy surrounding the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul fight, warning that the event is likely driven more by showmanship than by genuine sport. He argued that instead of being a legitimate boxing contest, the bout is shaping up as a spectacle engineered for entertainment, designed to sell and shock rather than uphold boxing's competitive integrity. By framing it as high-stakes entertainment, Smith cast doubt on how authentic or competitive the fight would truly be. At the same time, Smith expressed hope that a Tyson Fury vs. Anthony Joshua showdown could still happen, calling it the biggest fight that could be made and expressing optimism that the mega clash might finally materialize by 2026. However, he also cautioned that boxing is full of talk, and not every proposed fight comes to fruition, highlighting that while the idea excites fans, numerous logistical and contractual hurdles remain.
He's an Olympic gold medalist, two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight? It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in there to knock out Jake Paul.
Sorry, just to silence all the doubters here. You know, a lot of people saying this can't be real. You know, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's going to it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua. Just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out. But we're in for a bit of fun, and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this, and I don't think he quite realizes. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury, and Turki Al-Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to.
Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has also responded directly to the scripting allegations, though his remarks sparked their own controversy. Hearn joked that the only script was Joshua's plan to enter the ring and knock Paul out as quickly as possible, a comment he later clarified was intended to emphasize the fight's seriousness and dismiss any notion of a predetermined outcome. At the same time, the very need to publicly mock and refute these claims highlights just how deeply the rumors have taken hold among fans and in media circles.
Obviously scripted, isn't it? I'm like, no. 1, that's illegal. I mean, this is a professional contest. 2, we would never sign up to anything that's going to make AJ look bad or devalue him, lose rounds, go loads of rounds.
Do you think there's any world in which AJ pulls back, though?
No, absolutely. He couldn't do that as a fighter. He would be incapable of going in there and holding back. I mean, I think the only thing that's a bit harsh is if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first round, he should be ashamed of himself. Like, Brian, give us 2, or 3. Because if Jake does move, he can look after himself. It's not like he's just going to get one shot.